Good tactical morning. I am a tactical laptop bag, and today marks the 21st and 22nd weeks of development for Tactical Airsoft Training Simulator. So what do I have for you guys these 2 weeks? Well, first thing you'll instantly notice is this new map. I'll show it to you guys in just a second. But it's it's a little bit in progress still. So right now I am getting 60, 70 frames per second, but it's still doable, but I can definitely tell my hands are like twitching and stuttering and everything. But Valve has done an absolutely amazing job with their reprojection and motion smoothing and all that, because looking around with my head, I cannot tell that this is running at a measly 68 frames per second rather than 90 frames per second. So good job on you, Valve. You have made motion sickness like not a thing. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the camera and show you guys some stuff. And here we go. So once again, this is going to be a very technical devlog. I don't have much on my list. I have like 3 things, which is the map, some other stuff, which I will show you as things go on. So over here we have a door. Yeah, it's a door with a stupid high poly count doorknob, which I need to fix later. And this door here is going to lead to a indoor shooting range where you can test and learn about how the guns work. Like I'm thinking of having like a dude in there who's just like, hey, so this is how a gas blowback pistol works, and he like explains how a gas blowback pistol works, and then you shoot it, and he goes, okay, this is how an AEG works, and he explains to you how an AEG works, and then you're on your way, and he goes, okay, this is how a spring gun works, and then you learn how a spring shotgun works, and you're on your way. Of course, there's other methods of learning what different things are, but I'm going to stick with 3 gun types that I have in the game right now. Okay, let me think. Right, over this way is going to be the door to the field once I actually get a field modeled up and put into the game. Over here is the tables for like the loading area in the lobby. This is the Tactical Airsoft Arena Manassas location lobby. From memory, at least, this is like very much not what it actually looks like. This is from straight my memory, and it sucks. So sorry. But these tables, I'm stupid. So I got bored one day and was just like, hey, let's just make tables. And I made a high poly table because I was like, this is not going in a game, this will be fine. And then I went, you know what, let's put this in the TATS because that's fun. And then I realized that having a 30,000 triangle table in TATS, especially when you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 16, 20, 24, 26 tables, that adds up really quickly. And when I first started recording this devlog, I looked and it goes 30 frames per second, and I was like, kill me. Okay. But yeah, so now you can see there's like this. It looks so dumb. It's the classic like bad developer move where they just decimate the crap out of some high poly model, like what I just did right here, and it just looks so garbage. But it's a table, okay? It's fine. Of course, there's this counter which probably has more polys than it needs to have, but it doesn't matter. It's fine. It's not lagging too badly. I'm still getting 90. Wait, why am I getting 90 now? Oh, because it's rendering twice. If I turn off the camera, yeah, okay, if I turn off the camera, it really lags. If I turn it, okay, so if I turn on the camera, there's 60 frames. If I turn off the camera, I get 90. I should really take note of that. Okay, next week, or next 2 weeks, you guys don't get to have the spectator camera turned on by default, just so you guys know. Alright. Yeah, that's pretty much the map. Of course, you got your soda can machine. You know, it's spaced out against away from the wall a little bit, like an actual one would. It's rotated slightly lopsided. You know, I just had to make it just a little realistic. It's fun. Right. I'm gonna stop talking and get on with this. So I'm gonna spawn a couple of soda cans here. So first thing you may notice, this is now a square instead of like the cylinder it was before, but this is because I'm trying to transition to the physical button toggle, but it's bad. It's just straight up bad. You have to like Oh, now it's broken entirely. There it is. Yeah, I failed. I'm going to work on this some more. Eh, eh. There we go. Nope. Okay, we'll just leave it golden. So yeah, distant grabbing system. That is another thing that's new. So first thing you'll notice when I go to select it is instead of it just being a red dot in the center, it is now a red dot with a line going to your hand that is focusing on it. So if I focus on it, pull the trigger, and flick, instead of it flying to my hand, there is now a line going all the way from the can to my index finger, and it's indicating that I can grab it. I can either grab it with a pinch pose or with a grip grab pose. So I'm going to grab it with a grab, and there we go. Now it's in my hand, just like that. So this makes it a lot easier to distant grab things and a lot faster, but it's the same exact motions that you would make with the Half-Life Alyx distant grabbing system, which is what I was going for, which is perfect. So I can do that and then just grab. Doing, boing, doing, boing, doing, boing. It's so much fun. It's much more reliable, and I don't have to worry about 100,000 physics calculations every time you want to just distant grab something. Instead, it just snaps into your hand. So, technical stuff. Yay! This is going to be technical because it's going to be short because I have only 3 things on my list, and I want to talk. So, I'm going to go ahead and spawn this magazine over here and throw it over there because I realized that I don't have the right thing to allow you to teleport while holding it. Okay, so how this works now is it's almost the same code as before. I have it very much cleaned up, so that way it's like it actually feels like it's supposed to be existing in the code base. And when I put my cursor over, it's the same code as before with getting pointing and all that good stuff, and selecting getting the best selection for distant grabbing, all that good stuff. One weird thing is you may notice this guy's here. It's supposed to be an editor only thing, so that way I can like tell where the distant grab indicator is or not indicator, but distant grab ray is pointing. But it seems to not have the editor only tag on the right hand, but it does on the left hand for some reason. So you just get to deal with this little stick coming out of my hand. Right. So I point at it, pull the trigger, and flick. The code is the same up until I get to where I flick. Instead, what it does is it locks the selection to my hand and waits for me to perform a pinch or grip grab. So I can go ahead and do a grip grab, and it'll just simply attach the object to my hand. Really simple, but a big design change that needed to happen like eons ago. And of course, I'm going to demonstrate that this works with grip grabbing. So, this is a grip grab. This is a pinch grab. It has a different pose. And I still need to fix the pose because that's like a broken thumb right there. So if I grab it from a distance, grip grab it from a distance, pinch grab, pinch. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and showcase the next thing that I have fixed up in TATS that has been much a necessity. So, opening soda cans one-handed makes you feel like a freaking boss, You don't even need no other hand. You just, and there you go. You open it with one hand. So yeah, I have this in TATS, of course, because, opening a million things with 2 hands gets annoying, and I'd rather have an option for opening a soda can one-handed. So I, made that. And one bug that came out of this was if you were holding it and you were on a controller type that uses a grip grab as its default grab, like the Valve Index controllers or the Knuckles controllers, when you would open it one-handed, it would get locked to your hand. It would treat it like you pinched the pistol or the weapon, and so it would get locked to your hand until you grabbed it again, and then it would get out of your hand. So I'm going to show how I fix this bug. Boom, boom, fixed it. Okay. Right, so how I got this bug fixed, I have to explain what the smart input throwable is in my game. So SteamVR has what's called a throwable script, which is how you are able to pick up magazines in TATS. It's simply just, as long as you're holding a grab, you are holding the item. And then once you let go of the grab, you are no longer holding the item. It's pretty simple. That is not the button I wanted. So you can do pinch grabs like this, or you can do grip grabs like this. So what I did was to handle the different controller configurations. It's like I started off working on this with 5.1, so I only had triggers to pick things up. I could grab with the grip, but that's incredibly painful. So what I would do is it would detect if you picked it up with a pinch pose or a grip pose. If you picked it up with a pinch pose, it would lock the gun to your hand like so. And it would stay in your hand until you did a grab grip, and then it would let go. And then if you grabbed the grip and then let go of the grip, it would just let go. Just like, a normal throwable. So basically, the only thing it did was override default behavior whenever you did a pinch pose. That is a bug I need to fix. I'm throwing you over there. You're in timeout. Stay in there. Okay. So what was happening was the way I was detecting how the hand was pinch posing or grip posing. So the hand automatically has a variable on it that tells you what kind of grab it's performing right now. And I figured that would be suffice enough to get that to work. But I would check this after the object was already attached to your hand, so there is a single frame where it does not know what the behavior should be. So normally you cannot actually have the human reaction time to grab with a pinch and then let go the 1/90th of a second. That is wicked fast. So I was like, there's no way the player would be able to end up with an issue with that. So I went along with it. But thing is, scripts are wicked fast and can react 1/90th of a frame or 1/90th of a second. And so the soda can, when you would click the touchpad, it would suddenly swap to a pinch pose because you're holding the trigger or your fingers on the trigger. Wow, your fingers on the trigger, and you are clicking the touchpad. Now you're in a pinch pose all of a sudden. Oh my gosh! And so it would open the can, and the gun would attach with the grip pose. But the smart input throwable script would see that I am pinch posing, and so it would say, oh, he grabbed it with a pinch pose, lock it to his hand, even though I was holding the grip. So what I ended up doing instead was reading the data from the attached information. So when I attach this to my hand, there is now information in my hand about this object, like how it was grabbed, what time it was grabbed, all that good stuff. So I looked at the information on how it was grabbed when it was attached, rather than one frame later and look at how my hand is gripping. So now that fixes that bug. That's all good and dandy. Of course, one other minor thing I have done is really fancy. It's just put a hand on the slide. So now when you rack the slide, your hand's there. Of course, this is normal stuff. This is very Pavlov inspired, obviously. I do want to add a thing where when you pinch pose, it does a different grab. But right now it just does that thing, which is weird. So yeah, that will come, I'm hoping, the next 2 weeks, but it doesn't look like it because I have a lot of other things to work on, such as making a better table and also fixing up this little guy. And let's see what we got here. We got indicator color. So with the old distant grabbing system, when you would pull the trigger, it would change colors to green. Well, that's supposed to happen, but that doesn't happen for whatever reason. Literally, there's not even any code anymore that tells it to turn red. I changed it all so that it tells it to turn green. It doesn't turn green! I don't know why. Right now, the code that's running, it's saying, turn green, turn green, turn green. All of those 3 stages, it tells it to turn green. So, selecting it, turn green, turn green, turn green. It should be telling it to turn green all 3 of those stages. So yeah, it's not doing that for whatever reason, but yeah, I gotta fix that. Okay, HI-CAPA magazines are still the buggiest freaking things in the game, and I will be working on these later. Hopefully, I can get around to touching on these next 2 weeks, but it does not seem likely. Yeah. Let's see, once I get that down, I'm going to have some bigger plans, some broader ideas for the game. might actually, make it a game instead of just a VR experience. Is what it is, which is why I refuse to release this to the general public and why I have it on closed playtesting right now, is because it is not a game. There is no objective. It is a VR experience. And you know what VR experiences are? Really bad ones. Because you play them for 5 minutes and go, that was fun, and then never play it again. So I definitely don't want to do that, which is pretty much what TATS is at this point. So I want to make some, actual game aspects to the simulator, the game, that. So yeah, I've been getting these basic systems working before actually getting the actual game design in, and I think I'm almost there. I think TATS is almost ready to become a game. It's been a long 22 weeks, man, I'll tell you that. We're nearing the midpoint of a year, which would normally be like where the base systems and like concept is made, at least within the first 6 months or within the year. So I am really excited to get this started because I want to release this to the public and see it fail because it's an indie game. You know what's going to. Oh gosh. But yeah. That's all I got for you guys these 2 weeks. Hope you guys enjoyed. Go away. Happy shooting. I am definitely banned from this field. I'm shooting in the lobby.